Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. You know, David Herro, this is the interview that the world has been waiting for. We had Kevin Nash on in the first hour. Now we welcome our guest for the second hour.
Everyone's been waiting for this. This is the bound for glory of wrestling radio interviews right here.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
The Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, with us live here on 540 ESPN. Pope, it has been a long time. We wanted to have you on this program, and now tonight it finally happens. Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report.
Well, David and Damian and to the whole PWR worldwide congregation, wherever you're listening at, let's get one thing straight. You guys made reference to it, and allow us just to put this thing into perspective, if you will. This is indeed the main event of the PWR show. You said Bound for Glory, so that means this is big right here. Something big is going down. This is history in the making, and it cannot be done without yours truly, the Pope D'Angelo Dinero. So talk to me. Let's get this thing going.
So what you're saying, Pope, is you're in the headlining main event of the PWR show.
I'm still trying to figure out who you are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he thinks he's pretty popular, this David Herro, but it's not about him. It's about the Pope. Bound for Glory this past Sunday, Pope. You're in that big matchup where Jeff Jarrett walked out on his partner, Samoa Joe, and we saw what that would lead to later on in the night. Tell us a little bit about the experience at Bound for Glory in Daytona Beach this past Sunday night, where obviously the earth-shattering news of who they were was revealed.
Well, you mean, here's something, man, that was really huge and big for TNA as a company, and we all have to look at what went down, like you said, earth-shattering news, something that has been ongoing and been built up for such a long time. And the world was wanting to know. Hell, Oprah called Pope and said, Pope, who are they? You understand what I'm saying? Because I got some issues going on cross seas here with this little school that I put up for my girls, and I'm trying to figure out who they are because I need justice done over on my end. But, man, I got to tell you, to have that big show, the biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory in Daytona Beach, which held such historical, presence, if you will, and such a historical part of the wrestling world. And we're talking about Bash at the Beach. Not that that was the purpose of it, but I mean, you just got to look back and tie it in. I haven't seen trash thrown in the ring like that. It just took me back as a fan. Mm-hmm. It took me back, 10, 12 years.
And, it looked great on television as well. As a matter of fact, it actually sealed up the moment. Exactly. And recapturing the glory of that moment from, and I don't think it was a recreation, as you said as well, but it was certainly a bit of a throwback and a tribute, I would almost say, to probably the most significant thing to happen in wrestling in the last 20 years.
Exactly. Because when you look back, man, it was that moment that changed the course of wrestling at that time as we knew it. And I'm willing to bet that BFG 10-10-10, it did the same thing. And right now we got a champion and a low down, if you will, no good sellout that is Jeff Hardy, first timing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're talking about somebody that's been this lovable Twilight type character for over, for over the past decade, man. And for him to do what he did, man, we're talking serious business. So, that was something that was needed, man. And I think this is, it's been a great boost to push the TNA Express, if you will, in the direction that they're trying to go. Going into Bound for Glory, we had great viewership, great intrigue about the storyline, and now, after that has happened, it's like, man, let's see where this thing go from here.
Sky's the limit.
Exactly. But back to the focus of your question, Pope being a part of the match with the Icon Sting and Kevin Nash and Jeff Jarrett and the Samoan Submission Machine, this was something huge for me on a personal level, and I'm going to touch back because I heard some very disparaging comments. Now stay with me for a second, Damien, because Pope goes in the woods for a second or two, but he'll come back out, all right?
All right.
Way back home, all right? But I'm going to touch on some disparaging comments that, some of my congregation, if you will, forwarded to Pope on Twitter.
Oh,
and
there we
talking
go.
all this stuff about Damien, not Damien, but that Dave guy, David Herro.
David Herro.
And some of his comments, about Pope and main event and world titleship, contendership, and all that stuff. But man, I've told some people close to me, and I'll say this again when it came to Bound for Glory, because look, Pope had his shot at No Surrender. Some things happened. Hero's boy. Gosh, I mean, if we gave Ken Anderson a enema, Dave Herro's had to be the first one to pop.
Wow, that is
his
tremendous.
Went over No Surrender, and look, man, it was a hiccup for Pope. He earned the right to go in for Bound for Glory and to have that shot. But for Pope to be in the ring with Kevin Nash, Sting, Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe, and what was scheduled to be Hulk Hogan, man, that night couldn't have been any bigger for me. I mean, and I got to tell you, it really, for Pope, on a personal level and as a fan of wrestling, that right there, that runs hand in hand with being in, if not bigger than being in the world title match at Bound for Glory.
You know what, Pope?
I'll have many opportunities, and I'll have many title reigns as a TNA World Heavyweight Champion in the future, but not everyone will have the opportunity to stand in the ring with the Icon Sting, to stand in the ring with Kevin Nash, to team with them. We're talking about the Wolfpack. We're talking about the same guys that took this wrestling thing to the next level, who I was coming home from the sheriff's office, man, taking off my uniform, getting my bowl of Cocoa Puffs and sitting in front of my television, rewinding my VCR tape to watch what I missed. So that was big for Pope, man.
Anytime you're in the ring with Hulk Hogan, I don't care what world title match it is, that is the match on the card.
Right.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the evolution of the Pope. Obviously, we saw you in your days in WWE.
I can't believe we actually agree. We agree.
Yeah, right. How about that?
It's still early. The evolution of the Pope. It was a character that, it's not really a character. It's a persona. It is you, who we saw really come to light in TNA wrestling. How did we go from Elijah Burke to the Pope?
Well, that's interesting. A lot of times folks walk up and they go, Pope, can I get an autograph? And then when they're done, there are some of them who try to be, I guess, hip, cool, smart, whatever you want to call it. They go, I remember you when you were Elijah Burke. Or I know your name's Elijah.
Right.
And, I'm going, wow, is that a secret? I'll be Elijah Burke till the day I die, you moron. I mean, gee, that's on my birth certificate. But we're talking about the Pope. And also another interesting thing is, we're talking about the machine that is WWE, versus the little engine that is.
Right.
Not the little engine that could, the little engine that is, that's heading in the right direction. TNA, man, they have made Pope more known, more world recognizable, more of a name in a year's time than Elijah Burke was in 3 years with the WWE.
Yeah.
So I mean, think about that, Daddy. And the evolution is quite simple, man. I think that I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think the biggest thing, I'm getting feedback over here. The biggest thing was quite simply this. I stopped reading the script, and when I got to TNA, they said, do your thing. That's the biggest difference, because that allowed Pope as me, just to be me, as a persona, however you want to look at it. It allowed me to express myself in a whole new light, in the way that I express myself backstage, in the way that I express myself when I come across my fans, the way I express myself. If you've seen Pope, posted up in a, I don't do your type of thing, but if you saw Pope on the street anywhere, man, this is Pope, this is how we do it, this is how we roll, and they allow me to be that. I remember up in the E towards the time when they weren't using me, and the whole New Breed thing had blown over, and they needed some babyface on Raw, and they were going to pull me from ECW and send me over to Raw as this babyface, I guess, to target a certain demographic.
Yeah.
That's always needed. And Flair was in the middle of his, retirement angle, and
Right.
they decided to hold off because they didn't want to get Pope lost. And then WrestleMania came, and the whole Michael Hayes thing happened, and writers got switched around, and this happened, that happened, whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Pope Elijah got lost, and so I said, well, look, man, I've been on WWE.com, ECW.com. I've been doing this Elijah Experience thing for about 18 months now or so. People have started writing me and actually giving me their problems. People are writing me and actually seeking advice, sending me their numbers, asking for prayer. I'm not talking about, just being a fan. I mean, these people were seriously laying things, laying their lives in my hands, sort of speaking, and entrusting me with it. And I guess that's good, because I would rather confess to someone who I don't know than someone that I know, because then, I'm likely to be judged by people that I live around every day.
Right.
So they brought it to me, and I just started referring to them as my congregation. And in doing so, you can't have a congregation without a certain type of leader. And I thought, well, what type of leader can I be? I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to be called no reverend. I don't want to be the next Reverend Slick. I don't want to be the next
Doctor of
Brother
Style.
Love. And he did have style, bless his heart. And I'm talking about Slick. So I just started referring to myself as the Black Pope. I thought I'd be a first, and that first was the Black Pope, and that's how the Black Pope started, and that's how Pope
Touching lives.
They coming to TNA. I mean, we didn't really need the black in there. I think it's just quite obvious. There's no other Black Pope. There's no need to make reference to it.
So, Pope, now, of course, with, social media, you got Facebook, you got Twitter. What happened to your Twitter account? You said you got to take it down?
Oh.
Something about stroke or whatever it was?
We need the scoop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, wow. Well.
Hey, it's late tonight. Don't worry about it.
Well, here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. I'll tell it like it is, all right?
Because, I'm going to admit, I kind of miss seeing us tagged together in a whole bunch of different tweets and whatnot, and since your Twitter's down, it's like, come on. I'm waiting for some hot news.
Well, we know what you were doing, Pope, before your Twitter account went down. You put some videos out, and were pretty vocal about some things, and...
Okay, so you kind of know what it is, and
But we want to hear it from you. That's what it comes down to.
Is that what it is? Well, I mean, it's quite simple, and I'm just trying to.
If you want, you can start with, here's the thing.
Well, Daddy, listen. Here's the thing. Okay? And again, don't tell Pope how to start his sentence. When I need your advice, I'll ask you.
I don't think
so you're not calling us what you're saying.
That ain't happening no time soon. You've been listening to too many Pope promos, huh? But seriously, it was just this. Things were going on, a whole lot of quote unquote deception. All right, and Pope was basically trying to tell some of moron land out there, his own personal views, because, mind you, I knew not of what was going on around here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just as, while Pope has prophetic capabilities every now and then, BFG 10-10-10, and They Live and all that other stuff, I had no idea and I had no clue. But I knew one thing, and that was Hogan. So as a fan, Pope was just saying what he felt, and I was just staying true to my folk. And I got tired of the videos and all that, setting up of, the hospital here, hospital there, and blah blah blah. And so, I did a couple of videos, and I was about to do another major one.
A video with Miss Tessmacher, maybe?
No, Daddy, look here, Pope already got a couple of those in his collection. That was his, not now, at least. Good grief. At one time it was all about Christy Hemme, you understand? But good Lord.
I like how you hit that Hemme.
Hemme power, baby. I let her feel my power. Yeah, man. So that's basically what happened. And all of a sudden, I get a call. I get a call from the Ville, if you understand.
Mm-hmm.
And like, hey, what's going on? And that was pretty much it. I said, you know what, screw it.
All right. Well, you alluded to it earlier. You talked about when you came over to TNA, and they said just go be you.
And they still do that till this day. And I mean, God bless those guys, and kudos to them, because if it's working, you let it work. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. I mean, whatever cliche you want to throw in there, man. And when I tell you it's like that, I'm telling you 100%. This is not a me trying to butter up.
Right.
I mean, this is just the truth, Pope. And I always use this because it amazed me when I saw it. Because when the first time, they tried to, write some stuff or idea or whatnot, and Pope just does Pope thing, because I'm always told, Pope, Pope, you are Pope, you do your thing. It's you, so you do it.
Right.
And so now, instead of trying to write anything, it says, Pope walks in, Pope cuts promo, Pope leaves. That's it.
Is that a better situation than the scripted environment? And not just talking about it as it pertains to you, but talking about it as it pertains to everybody. Is that a better situation than what you experienced in WWE?
I mean, why wouldn't it be, Daddy? I mean, up there you got a script, and you want, they're looking for something. And I can't say if it's better for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's better for someone who is gifted, if you will, and, who's used to speaking in such a manner to relay a message, to get that point across. So, in order for me to do that and to do it in a way that is going to be suitable to, geez, you don't tell Santa Claus to go out and cut a thug message, do you?
I'd like to see that, actually.
You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be Santa Claus. Santa
Right.
Claus you can't write a script for Santa Claus and have him cutting a gangster style message. No, it's not going to happen that way.
Yeah.
But if you want the point to come across that Santa Claus was trying to be thuggish, then you do it in a certain way where Santa is still being Santa, and the fact that he was trying to come across as thuggish, which could be laughable, you still get the same thing. But, as far as the two different environments, the other environment, it would be, okay, that was good, but let's do it again.
Right.
That was good, but let's do it again.
Yeah.
Now, and then after a while, by the 8th or 9th take, man, whatever that was in you, drive, momentum,
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to get this over with. And I always make sure that I mention that the person that started this with me, who said, "Look here, Daddy, you got you got it. I ain't got to tell you nothing. You got the gift of gab. I ain't got to tell you. You just give me what you want to give me."
Mm-hmm.
That was the American dream in ECW.
He who just celebrated a birthday 2 days ago.
Did he?
Yeah, turned 65. Did the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes?
Oh,
You
that's more like that's not like an American dream. It's more like an American afterthought now. Ain't it?
Wow.
So,
Well, TNA Impact every Thursday night on Spike TV. TNA is going to be live, actually, in Racine, Wisconsin tomorrow night.
I'll tell you what. Hold on. If that Hero guy laughs and reacts to one more of Pope's comments, he might be on the right track to become a member of the congregation, Daddy.
I'm just being courteous.
You understand? But I'm still filling them out now, because this might be a setup. So.
Well, no, he's waiting for his card so he can be a card-carrying member of the congregation.
Is that all right?
Well, Pope, I have actually stolen one of your gimmicks.
Did you?
Oh,
it's,
yes.
It's the Dave Herro has spoken, the DHHS.
Well, you know what? Everybody that tweets me, leaves me messages on Facebook, whatever it may be, they all sign off. Hell, I have Terry Taylor. You remember that guy that gets that little red thing on top of his head and walks around like a rooster, the Red Rooster. I even have him, sending me official messages from Nashville, and he put THS. You know what I'm saying? So this thing is, it's crazy, but it's a phenomenon right now.
Yeah.
It's a crave that's going on, in wrestling world. So
I'll send you a T-shirt, Pope. How does that sound?
hey, as long as I get my cut, I don't know.
Well, that's all Damien right there. I have nothing to do with that.
Well, Pope, it's been great talking to you, actually.
Man. Look, Dad, I'm down in the impact zone. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're not a as scripted environment, and when it comes to Pope, none at all. So I'll sit around till it's time to do ring time. You know what I'm saying? I would go hit the gym or something like that, but right now I'd rather sit back and eat a sweet potato pie.
Pope, thank you.
Again. I'm with you, Daddy. You just do your thing. I'm sorry about the fact that we had to cut that little interview, man, and was talking about Wisconsin and whatnot, and Pope's a little saddened that he's not going to be there to reach out and touch his congregation in a personal way. That's something I like to do. Something I like to do is go out there and see, this one kid that's going crazy, and just one above all. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
But I like to see one that's not just going crazy, but I can look at him and tell he don't have what the others have, or he wanted to have the glasses that the kid next to him, or he wanted the shirt. I don't see anything on him that's wrestling-wise because his parents weren't able to get it for him.
Right.
And then I can go out there as I'm on my way and I'm standing in that ring and I'm looking around. People always wonder what I'm looking for. It's not just that I'm looking for somebody that's making a bunch of noise. I'm looking for the kid who I can put a smile on his face, so I can actually touch and change his life forever when I give him those things to say, wow, I was thought of in a special way by the Pope. And that's my mission, man. And I always tell everybody, if I can just touch one person, if I could just put a smile on one person's face, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, then I did my job. That's all I care about.
And I think there is a place on the web where you can get the sayings of the Pope and join the congregation. It's the ElijahExpress.com, correct?
That is correct, man. The ElijahExpress.com. Then you click on the forum. You create your username there, man, and you will actually have the opportunity to speak with Pope via cyberspace on a daily basis, almost daily basis. I can't say every day, but I stop in there, man, and we go in the chat box. Again, Herro, don't be coming in under no fake names. Don't be going there trying to make you all these different personas and going on the ElijahExpress.com/forum, all right?
Absolutely.
Because I would figure out that I got an administrator that watches every IP address and everything else, so you won't get past us, all right?
You got it.
Well, Pope, we're out of time here, but it's been great talking to you. We got to have you on again soon here.
Listen, man, whenever you want me on here, you got me.
Thank you, Pope, for speaking to us here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.